Hello, hello, hello. This is Els Camila from Bemis Crafty Corner, and today we have a viewer request. This is a viewer's request for a 12 by 12 one-sheet folio. So let's take a look at what we got here. So we have our front cover, flips open. You've got a flip here that can be a pocket or a flip, whatever you want it to be. Then you have a big pocket here, and then you have another page, and then you have another flip back here. This is one sheet of paper, one continuous sheet of paper, okay? So I'm going to show you how to cut this and score it and all of that good stuff, and then we'll do some decorating, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so for this one, we're going to want a sheet of 12 by 12. Cardstock is probably best, some scoring tools, your scoreboard, and a paper trimmer or your scissors, whichever one you prefer. So we're going to start off by putting our paper in our scoreboard, and we're going to score this at 3.5. And at 8. And then we're going to turn it, and we're going to score it at 6. Okay? That's all of our scoring. We're not going to fold anything just yet, because we need to cut that line up to that 8-inch score line from the side that we scored at 3.5. We're going to cut that over to the 8-inch score line, okay? So you could do this with your scissors, you can do this with your cutter, however you want to do this, a razor, I don't care, however you want to do this. So let me grab my scissors. And so I'm going to start on the side that has the 3.5-inch flap. We're going to cut just to that 8-inch score line and stop, okay? So we just want a piece that looks like this. Alrighty? And then we're going to fold on our score lines, making sure that everything is nice and even. Then we're going to fold this one. That's that 8-inch score line. And then the 3.5. Okay. We're going to turn it over. We're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to fold in our 3.5. And then fold in our 8. Like that. So you should have a piece that looks like this. Alright, so now we're going to put a finger pull in here. I'm going to use my great big one for this because it doesn't matter which side I put it on. Okay, I've taken out my finger pull, and now I'm going to take this, lay it down so that the top boxes here, I'm going to put glue on the outside and across this bottom, right at that score line. Okay? And then I'm going to fold this over, line everything back up, press that together, refold my flaps. Okay? Alrighty. So now I have a flap, that big pocket, and then another page, a page, and a flap, a page, and a page, okay? So that's the basics. When I come back, we're going to do a little bit more work on this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got out some scraps that I think will be relatively complementary to the paper we're using. So we'll take some of those. And since this is, you know, going to be either stitched into a journal or used as a notebook or both, let's reinforce this a little bit. We'll go with this. You can use tape or whatever you want. Let me grab a paper trimmer here. If Harry, stop. Y'all know he's got to be down there, right? All right. We already know it's 6 inches, so, you know, that makes life easy, right? And I'm just going to fold this in half. And then I'm going to do a little inking on this because we're going to ink the whole thing. Then I'm just going to glue this on here just to give me a little added, you know, thickness right there. And I am going to use glue because I don't want to try and put tape through this, you know, because then I have to go in and go through that with my string through the tape. And that always just makes a mess. Okay. So I'm just going to line it up, top and bottom. Put that on, and then I'll glue down the top. I really like these fine points, but they're a pain in the butt. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I started on this one, and then Harry got in the way and the phone rang. So all I did was cut down a piece of paper, some scraps that I had that I've pulled out, and I just, you know, inked it and put a piece on the side here so that it, you know, it just makes this a little bit of a more sturdy spine. And now we've moved on to the inside. And we're looking to maybe put a pocket here, because this is going to be a flip, maybe. You know what, I think we'll do this as a slant pocket. So let's go ahead and pull our trimmer over. open. Thank you. And I'm going to place this on my cutting groove right at that crease. Take that off. And then I'm just going to glue the bottom of this. So let's ink first. Then we're going to glue this down. This really should have been the front, but I'm trying to keep this one as plain as possible. Okay, so there's a slot. And then we have the big pocket here, which we know is about 5 3/4 of an inch with the glue on the end. So let's go ahead and cut a journal card for that. Cut this down. And then trim a little bit off of this because it doesn't need to be, you know. Take a little bit off of there, and then I'm going to take a little bit off this end. So let's check. I think we could take a little bit more off the depth. Let's see. Now these are not always going to be exactly the same size, but you know, reasonable. I'm going to do a little bit more. There we go. So mine is let's see. It is 5 3/8 by 3 1/2. Okay, so I have that, and I'll need to cut something for the back of it. I don't think that I want it just white though. Let me see. Let's see. What do I have in the scrap pack? Never know what's in your scrap pack. This will work. Yeah? That would work. I can write on that. And it's not plain white. Okay. Alrighty, so 5 3/8. 1, 2, 3. 5 3/8 by 3 1/2. Okay. Perfect. All right. So I can glue this, tape this, whatever I want to do to put this on the back here. Gluey, gluey, glue. You know, I've seen a lot of people not using the micro tip, and I can kind of see the reasoning for it. I really can. Okay, so I have that on there. So I'm going to put that in. And then we're going to put a little notebook right here, and then this is still going to be a flip. So when I come back, we'll do that part, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to put the notebook in. And I have some paper here, and I've cut the paper down to 5 3/4 by 7 1/2. And that way when you fold it in half, it'll fit in here as a notebook. So I'm going to alternate these pages. And I'll show you why. So let me get these lined up. And I'm going to fold them over. Let me get my bone folder because I want to put a nice crisp edge on that. Okay. And then this is going to go right here, and it's going to be sewn in, and it's narrow enough that it's not going to cause a problem with this flip. So let's get this sewn in, and before we do that, we're going to ink, okay? So at this point, we're going to do our inking. We're going to ink all the way around the top edge, the side edges, the bottom edges, in the creases if we want to get that done, inside and out, okay? So we're going to do all of our inking, and then we'll come back. Be right back. Okay, so I inked everything. Now, normally, I would, go through the whole process of pre-punching my holes and all of that, but I'm not going to do that because this is so little, it's so small that I don't really think that it needs that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in with my needle, go through my center. I'm just doing a 3-hole pamphlet on this, which is, again, why I'm not really overly concerned about putting in the holes in advance. Now, of course, you do as I say, not as I do. I don't want to do that. I want to go down here. See, I always forget because when I do this, I tend to do this in a more secure manner than this. But since this is not like, it's not going to get as much wear and tear, we could just use this little easy stitch. All right. Back up through the center. One string on either side of the center. Right over left. Left over right. And then we'll go ahead and cut those off. All right, now I said that I wanted to stagger this paper and I wanted to do it backwards and forwards, and I'll show you why. So here's my paper, got some writing lines. I'm going to open my first page. It's blank. Next page. My lines line up all the way across and still leave my image. Then a blank page, then lined up lines, then a blank page. You get the idea? Lined up lines. See what I'm doing here? Okay, so that is now stitched in to to our little folio. And we have to decide now, do we want our pocket to be on the inside like this? Or do we want our pocket to cover up our little pad? It's entirely up to you. It's not that big of a deal. But I am going to use the piece that I had left over from what I cut off the front pocket to create a small pocket here in the back. Again, just another little corner pocket. It's not a big deal. We're just going to put this right there. All right, so far I've still just used, you know, basically that one piece of paper with the exception of my journaling card. And now I'm going to put a pocket here. And this is going to be, you know, one of these kind of pockets. So I'm just deciding what I want to use for this. I'm going to use this. So let's just cut this off of here. All right, so we know that it's 6 inches tall. And this should be about 6 inches, so let's it's just a hair off. There's our 6 inches. And then that little flap is 3.5, so let's do this at like 2 1/4. Let's see where that gets us. I don't know which side I like. I think I like this side. It stands out, but it's not over the top. All right, little finger pull in the middle. We don't need this part, but I'm doing it anyway because I like to play with the giant punch. Come on. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink all the way around. Hubber and the Pups. Sounds like some kind of weird Saturday morning cartoon, doesn't it? Hubber and the Pups. All right, glue. Now you could certainly gusset this pocket if you wanted to. I don't see a reason to, because this is just going to be a little folio inside my book, you know, inside of a journal. Okay. Now I can add a pocket here, I can add pockets here, I can add a pocket down here, I can add pockets on the back. I can put pockets anywhere that I want on this. The point of this being that it's, you know, basically it is one piece of 12 by 12 made into a small notebook that can go into, you can put this in a pocket or stitch it in, whatever you want to do in your journal. So, my thanks to my viewer who requested this. And also to the original video, which I will link back if I remember. It's, I believe it was Camila Craft Designs. I'm not sure. But I will, either way, shout out to her. I will go ahead and link this in the description below, so you can go check out the original video. But that's all I have. If you're new here and you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, and share me with all your friends. Also, check out the community tab here on the YouTube channel. Scoot on over to the Facebook group. Look at the tab over there. Join the group. It's a great, fun group of people who, you know, are very supportive of each other. We have annual challenges this year for 2024. Our challenge is 52 altered playing cards in a year. So if you are interested in joining us, we'd love to have you. Until I see you again, stay well, my friends. Bye-bye.